Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. So today they announced Melbourne's gonna have an extended lockdown for another week. So technically supposed to end tomorrow, well Friday this week, but then they extended it for another week because we keep getting cases. But regional Victoria is gonna be safe. According to what I read today, they're not gonna have restrictions, but then Greater Melbourne's gonna have more restrictions. I mean, extended lockdown, and I live in Greater Melbourne, so lockdown for another week. And that's what today's video is about. I was just wanted to do like a little reflection video, like, go back into lockdown again and how I feel about the whole thing, and I guess what's different compared to last year. Because last year, if you, for context, Victoria last year, we had like a 3-4 month straight lockdown for like 3-4 months straight because there was a point where we got like 700 something cases in one day last year. It was really bad. So we were in stage 4 lockdown for a few months and it was interesting. The first thing is like when they announced, when I read that there was going to be an extended lockdown, I can't like help but feel the same way I did last year. Like this sinking feeling of like emptiness and I guess sadness and also a little bit of loneliness because I know that I'm not going to be able to see my friends for at least another week. And most of my friends live in Greater Melbourne, so we're all in lockdown, and like only like one of my friends is like free who lives in regional Victoria, but like everyone else is like in lockdown with me. I guess it's just like reliving the past essentially. It's like I've been through this already and now I'm going through it again and literally everyone else is going through it again. And but what's different that is like I my social connections are much stronger this year compared to last year, and people check on me, I check up on them. Like one of my workmates called me today. He's like, hey, how you doing? And it was like so nice. And I also had another talk with my coworker, my other coworker. Um, we were talking about trans experiences and trans issues. This fellow coworker of mine is cisgender, and the world of trans really um, scares him a little bit because he doesn't know much about it and he doesn't really want to offend anyone and stuff. So we had a 45-minute long chat about stuff. He was asking me questions. I was giving him some clarification, some reassurance. So that was really wholesome for both of us. And also another call with my friend. I called her after work and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Um, it's just these. I guess this sort of interaction is particularly important to keep me, I guess, going mentally because I I already know that from this lockdown, I feel not 100% myself because I'm missing one very crucial element, and it's seeing people in person, seeing people outside of my blood family in person, my coworkers, my close friends, meeting new people in person. Like this is what I'm lacking right now, and that's part of lockdown. This is like I lack it, and Zoom is not the same. I see my coworkers. I see like 20 of my coworkers on a Zoom screen, but it's not the same as that person to person interaction. It doesn't like the online thing. I feel like it sort of strips the, I guess, the humanness away a little bit. It's just not the same for me. I guess something else I've reflected on is, I guess, this feeling of loneliness is it's especially common during lockdowns when we can't go out and we're confined to the four walls of our house. But technically I can go out, but I can't really hang out with people. So it's pretty much being confined to the four walls of my house. And last year, especially, I thought that I genuinely believe that, you need to work on yourself, Lev. Like, you shouldn't be feeling so lonely. I thought there was something wrong with me for feeling like lonely and empty and feeling like I'm missing something in my life because of lockdowns. and I really blame myself. Like, something's wrong with you, like you need to work on yourself. But this year, this lockdown is different because I realize it's very natural, and I'm being more kind to myself. It's very natural to feel like I'm missing human connections. Even though I see people on Zoom, it's not the same thing. It's okay to feel lonely and a bit sad because we are social creatures. I'm going to link the other video down below about social connectedness. We are social creatures, and we basically need genuine, deep, meaningful human connections and interactions to survive. And for me, this is just as important as food, water, shelter, safety, human interaction, genuine human social connection. Otherwise, this is gonna go downhill, and if this goes downhill, then I'm screwed. And similarly to last year, I guess going into lockdown, I spend more time by myself, as in, I don't really see friends or anyone else really, except for, Zoom calls and phone calls. But still, I spend more time by myself, like physically by myself, without people outside my blood family surrounding me. And I just think a lot more, reflect deeply about myself, where I am at with life, and what are the areas in my life that I need to work on. Um, it's like last year's lockdown, even though it was, and I felt isolated and lonely, it was crucial for me because last year I was working through intellectual phobia. I was not confident in my trans identity yet. Um, I was out, but I wasn't very confident about it. Um, yeah, I just had a lot of, I guess, psychological, emotional trauma to work through. A lot of it due to trans challenges, but in general, there were a lot of things that I needed to change in my life and work on. And lockdown saved me because I didn't have to go out and see people in my most vulnerable state, and I had time alone to work through issues. And yeah, last year's lockdown was a silver like lining. It saved me. If I had to go out and see people and interact with the world like in person, in my already very vulnerable state, it would not have ended well for me. I didn't really go on Zoom meetings either. Like, I took a break from volunteering because my headspace was just so bad, and I put too much pressure on myself to try and get things done, even though I'm not okay. So I took a step back and it's like, hey, I actually need to look after myself. And last year's lockdown really taught me that I have to look after myself. And my voice is deepening. I can tell. It's great. It's great. Anyways, back to topic. Yeah, I did spend a lot of time working on myself, and I broke through barriers. But then I broke through barriers, but then I realized there were more barriers I had to break down. And for me, I guess life, it's just been a series of breaking down barriers. It's like, oh, there's this obstacle, there's this barrier, break down this wall. Oh, I come to another wall, work on breaking that down, and then I come to another wall. It's just a cycle, but I guess that's life in general. I'm not gonna walk through life freely without any challenges held in my face. So I just think of it as a series of breaking down walls. And I wrote a while back, I was journaling, and I wrote like life is literally problem solving. I might have made a video about this. I forgot. I don't know. Like, life is just a series of problem solving. It's like, why do we eat? Because we need food to nourish our body and grow and survive. Why do we drink water? Same thing. Without water, we're dead. Why do we go to work? Go to work because we need, the one reason is we need money to able to buy food, water, pay for rent, our house. We need that to survive, and also, have something meaningful in our lives, and make life worth living for, and adding value to our lives. It's like the problem. Another personal example. Why do I do boxing? it's because the problem is if I don't box and exercise, my physical health goes downhill, my mental health goes downhill. One of the solutions to that is to exercise and do boxing, because it takes the tension off my mind and body, gives me good feel good chemicals, it releases stress, all of that stuff. So that's the solution to the problem. And yeah, I just think of life as a series of problem solving. And I guess as we advance through life, I guess when we're younger, the problems we are dealt are, I guess, um, I don't know if I should say easier, but I guess, um, no, I take that back. Young people problems are hard too. I was gonna compare ages, but then every stage of life, there are challenges, and it can be, some can be more challenging for others than, some can be more challenging for some people than others. Something I also notice about myself is that whenever I feel like something's missing in my life, like there's this thing missing, and I feel a little bit sad, lonely, just dispirited. Is that a word? I think it is. Let me Google it. Yes, dispirited is a word. Whenever I feel like sad, dispirited, a little bit lonely, I noticed that I'm sort of gravitated towards short-term highs, like doing things to sort of numb this pain or numb these difficult feelings that I don't enjoy feeling. Like something I don't want to do, but I like, it's literally been crossing my mind, is going back online dating. I don't want to go back online dating because of the negative experiences I had with people on through online dating. It's traumatized me, and I know that it's not gonna be good for me in the long run. But like thinking about it, like short term highs, I'm like, oh, maybe I can have some fun, as in like talk to people, and that's something I've noticed about myself. But again, I don't want to traumatize myself, so sort of it's like I need to, something I'm doing is acknowledging that I'm feeling this way, and then tell myself, it's okay to feel this way, but it's not a good idea for you to do this because, while it may make you happy in the meantime, give you this short term, I guess, rush of happiness, thinking about long term, it's gonna break you more than help you. So you shouldn't do this. There are other things you can do that are rewarding in the short term and possibly long term, and that are healthy for you, that's not going to end up hurting you, Liv. So that's the process I have with talking to myself. Linking to that, I think for anyone in lockdown anywhere around the world, it's important to acknowledge how we feel rather than just sort of suppress and be like, you're not feeling this way, it's not okay to feel this way. It is okay to feel whatever you may be feeling during these difficult times, this pandemic, these lockdowns, not seeing friends, just throwing out what we knew as our so-called normal life, as in, going out and traveling around the world, doing whatever we want, not really limited or restricted by this COVID virus. Yeah, it's important to acknowledge it. Like something I learned that's very important is to be gentle with myself and how I feel, and treat myself as I would my best friend. Like if my best friend told me I'm feeling sad and lonely, I'm not gonna say you shouldn't be feeling this way. It's not okay. But then I do it to myself. And something I'm learning is how to be nicer to myself and build a healthy relationship with myself by treating myself as I would my best friend. And I'm getting better at it slowly. Like, for example, now I feel like a bit lonely because of the announced lockdowns and not being able to see friends in person and, hang out with people and make memories, which are all very important and meaningful things to me. So I'm just be like, it's okay to feel this way, Lev. Like, just feel your feelings. Don't need to hide it. You don't need to run from it. It's okay to be vulnerable. Telling myself things that I tell other people. It's like I should take my own advice. Um, it's very human to feel this way. Take it one step at a time. do things that you love, you know, stay connected with your friends. Don't try to isolate yourself further to feel these feelings of loneliness. People care about you, people check up on you, people do care about you, um, as evidenced by people calling you, messaging you, checking up on you. People live, people do care about you. And just because you may feel lonely, just because you are feeling lonely, it doesn't take away the fact that people do care about you and people love you and you mean something to people. It doesn't take away that. And I'm saying this to all of you as well. Just because you may be feeling lonely or all these difficult feelings during this lockdown or this pandemic, um, it doesn't mean that people care less about you or people love you less or you mean less to people. Just because you may be sitting with feelings of loneliness, it doesn't take away the fact that you still matter to people, is what I'm trying to say. And I also say to myself, you're not alone. I say this to my friends a lot. I say, you're not alone. And I send gifts. Some of them sort of aggressive gifts, like gifts as like, you're not alone. You know that, right? Like, yeah, that sort of stuff. Be like, I got you, fam. You're not alone. Um, Remember that you're not alone. I'm saying this a lot of times because it's important. I say that stuff to my friends, and I reiterate it a lot, especially during lockdown periods. And friends who I know are, I guess, more vulnerable during this period. Like, some are going through mental health concerns, some are recovering from heavy mental health issues, and I reiterated it more towards to these friends because I know that being in a vulnerable state, we can be easily, I guess, consumed by our unhelpful thoughts and these difficult feelings, and we just spiral downhill. And I want my friends to know that I do care about them and I love them, and what I say is what I mean. Like, I don't for me, right? I don't say things that I don't mean. Like, I don't say I'm here for you and then when they need me just disappear into nowhere and like never talk to them again. Like, I don't do that. When I say I'm here for you, I mean that I'm here for them. I don't bullshit with this. Like, I don't play people. It's not nice. Like, I've sort of off topic, but I've been played before, like emotionally and psychologically, and people have said things to me that they don't mean, and it really messes with my head. And I can never do that to people. Like, I say what I mean. I don't bullshit people like this. Um, so yeah. And usually, like always, every time I hang out with my close friends, I document it. I take many photos. I vlog. Um, I didn't start vlogging until like start of last year or end of 2019 to be more precise. But I vlog. I take a lot of photos because I say to them, like, I don't know when I'll see you next. I don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic. I don't know what's going to happen in life. And, you know, I don't want to regret not enjoying every minute I have with you and treasuring what we have today and just capturing some of it on camera so that we can look back and see how far we've come and, you know, reminisce, especially during lockdowns. I go back and look at photos and videos I had hang out with friends because it just reminds me of how much I love them even more and be like how grateful I am for them even more. Um, I do that a lot. I document a lot, and my friends are like, I should start doing this more, and I'm like, you should because we don't know what's gonna happen in life, like especially with this pandemic around, we don't know what's gonna happen. And something I do with my friends a lot is that like I thank them a lot for like literally everything. I'm like every time they wait for me to go to the bathroom, I'm like, thanks for waiting for me. Thank every single time I hang out with my friends, I'm like, thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for your time. And one of my friends was like, we've been friends for 2 years. You don't need to thank me for hanging out. But then I'm like, I do that. I do anyway because I genuinely am thankful and grateful for it. Like, I can't take people for granted. Like, even if someone does something so little for me, I will thank them like multiple times because, you know, even a small acts by people, it's like someone calling me to check up on me. Hey, how you doing, Lev? It's like that shows like they care about me, and like I mean something, and that meaning is something I don't want to lose. So I'm grateful for like literally everything, even the seemingly most insignificant things, like my friend waiting for me to use the bathroom. I will thank them every single time. That's just how I am as a person. I notice a lot of little things. I'm grateful for a lot of little things, and I don't take people for granted ever. Yeah, that's all the thoughts I had for today. Today's June 2nd, 2021. I'm documenting this and putting it out there in case it helps someone, and probably future life will probably watch his back and see how far he's come on his journey, and where his life has gone. And yeah, thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.